Let's say goodbye to 2023 by responding to your hot takes in the comments. My name is String Player Gamer. Let's begin. You have to play the game before you listen to the music. Wrong. That kind of mindset, that is just another form of gatekeeping. This is like saying you have to watch the ballet of the Nutcracker Suite by Peter Tchaikovsky before you listen to the music. The Nutcracker Suite, one of the most iconic standalone classical pieces of all time. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows what they're listening to, and they appreciate it even without seeing the ballet. This is like saying you have to be there in 1913 when audiences walked out during the premiere of Igor Stravinsky's The Rite of Spring because it was too new and too avant-garde at that time. To understand the music? No. To non-musicians, perhaps this is required for deeper context, but not really. Especially for composers. It's different for composers, arrangers, and musicians. Our brains are just wired differently. We are able to dissect music on its own merit without having to spend 200 hours on a video game. Especially, and this is most especially if it's a video game that does not appeal to me. Case in point, Omori. I've done a ton of Omori music reactions, and I was able to appreciate the music on its own technical and creative merit. I will never play Omori. It's not my kind of game. Never really a big horror fan, and the Omori game itself doesn't really appeal to me. Just personal preferences. Does the context make the music better? In terms of technicality, not really. Music that is beautifully composed, arranged, and performed is going to be independently beautiful, no matter what context it has. And video games have a ton of music like this. In the Final Fantasy series, in the Super Mario Bros. Series, Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross. How many songs from video games that you've listened to again and again without ever having to play the game? I'm pretty sure there is a lot of people who have already included One Winged Angel or Megalovania in their daily playlists without even playing Undertale or playing Final Fantasy VII. Because it's not required. If the music is great, the context doesn't matter. If it's great music and you want to listen to it, you don't need to play the game. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Do you have to watch all the Star Wars movies to appreciate the beauty of the Star Wars main theme by John Williams? Or the ominous Imperial March? No, you don't. Great music is great music. And if you want more of a deep dive on this particular topic, I have a video essay that discusses just that. Go watch it. Now, will experiencing the music in the context of its original media add to the experience? Definitely on an emotional level, but not on a technical level. The A minor and the C major will remain A minor and C major regardless. If you play the game or you've seen the movie, it doesn't matter. The artistic creation remains the same. But experiencing the context is definitely a bonus. Not a requirement to appreciate the music, but a bonus, an icing on the cake that enhances the experience of the listener. But the technical brilliance of the music remains regardless of context. And that is what I'm always interested in. The standalone beauty of music in video games. Especially instrumental music because it is so open to interpretation, even if it was composed for specific intentions. But once the music is out there, once it is published, once the game, the soundtrack, the movie, whatever, once it is out there in the public sphere, public access, public zeitgeist, what have you, there it takes a different form. Whatever intention the original creator has will definitely change based on audience perception. You as the creator will definitely have lost some semblance of control on how audiences will perceive it. The original context, for me, it doesn't matter. It is the new journey that I experienced upon hearing the music for the first time independently. Will I want to experience this music in the context of the game? Depends. If I like the game, if I'm interested in the game, being a full-time dad and being a full-time creator, gaming time is just not on my side anymore. So I have to choose the games that I like. If the game is not an enjoyable experience for me, or if the game is a type of genre that I'm not really into, for example, VR games. I'm not really into VR games. I don't get the hype, and that's okay. Everyone has their own preferences. I am just not into VR. That will probably sour my experience even. When I hear the music from that game again, then I will just remember the bad experience I've had about it. We must allow video game music to be set free, to evolve on its own, even away from its original media if necessary, so that it will evolve, stand alone, and be seen as a serious form of music that belongs in stadiums and concert halls and not just in our private Spotify playlists. If film music can do this, especially with the works of John Williams and Hans Zimmer, we can have it happen in video game music too. Stop pausing the song! No. If you want to listen to the music without interruptions, without pauses, do not watch a reaction video. Do not watch a musical analysis. Go support the original artists on their Spotify or their YouTube channel or wherever their main platform is. A reaction video includes pausing, talking, commentary, and explanations. If you don't like the pausing, don't watch. It just means that reaction content is not for you and you don't have to watch. Listen to the whole song first. What makes you think I didn't? Off camera. But actually, there's also a deeper copyright concern involved here. And by the way, none of this is legal advice. I am not a lawyer. There's a reason why pausing, commentary, and talking in between pauses is even more important for the reaction ecosystem. This is because there is a fair use clause which does not allow you to call it fair use if your content can become a market replacement for the original material. If I listen to the whole song, if I play the whole song with no pauses, with no interruptions, that's like listening to the song on Spotify. That's like listening to the song on the creator's original platform, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, wherever. And in court, I can be accused of stealing the market because I presented the whole content with no transformations, and that is a magnet for lawsuits. That is why it is actually more favorable to have lots of pauses in between, trimming some parts of the songs, just trimming a lot from the original song overall, spread it apart, and offer lots of new insight, lots of new musical analysis that nobody else can offer. And that's why I even add my violin improv over the original song, because that is even upping the transformative aspect of the video. And that is why I cannot play the full song on my videos, because I am not your Spotify playlist. Go listen to the original artist on Spotify. Go listen to them on their original platform. Or buy their albums in Bandcamp. Support the original artist is what I'm saying. Please react to this anime song. No, I'm not really big into anime. My daughter is, but in general, I'm not really an anime guy. Please react to this cover song. I don't do reactions to cover songs. I only prefer official soundtracks or official mods. Please react to this YouTuber. No, that is my number one rule. I will not do a reaction to another native creator on YouTube. And there's one huge reason for this. It is because me, as a fellow YouTuber, if I react to another fellow YouTuber who creates native content for the consumption of a YouTube audience, then we are competing in the same platform. We are competing in the same arena, and I could be stealing their views. Whereas, by choosing to react to only official soundtracks, mostly published by huge corporations who don't have any game on YouTube creation. For example, reacting to the soundtrack of Devil May Cry 5 or the Devil May Cry series in general. Devil May Cry and the music of Devil May Cry is owned and published by Capcom, which is a huge corporation from Japan. And this is just one example. Alan Wake is another company. And any video game company, their reach goes beyond YouTube. They don't usually care if you make content out of their content. In fact, most of them actually encourage fans making content out of their material, except Nintendo, of course. We all know that. But in general, 99% of the time, big companies, big gaming companies, love it when the fans create content out of their content because it also promotes them to the fans. And it's also not a good look on a public relations context for bigger corporations, for bigger companies going after smaller creators such as myself compared to Capcom, Nintendo, Square Enix. I'm just a teeny weeny little trout in a pond. It's not a good look for bigger corporations to go after smaller creators. It's gonna be like a David and Goliath thing, and public perception will always root for the underdog. And if I'm not sure whether a soundtrack is safe to use for reaction videos or covers, I do something that I would call getting a feel of the room, in which I take a quick look at the channels of other music reaction YouTubers and see if they're all reacting to the soundtrack that I also want to react. I take a look if any of them have experienced some copyright issues with the soundtrack. But if I see that there's a good amount of reactions to a particular soundtrack, then I would deduce that it is safe to use. I also look into the social media pages of the original content creators and try to see if they have any restrictions on the usage of their content. And if I generally find no issues at all, then I proceed to make content from that soundtrack. Where's the full cover of this song? I believe this is in reference to the short snippets that I do in my reaction videos where I do violin improvisations over the song. Those are actually not full covers. There's no full cover of that. I just choose like a 4-bar or a 16-bar segment of the song and just improv over that. Because if I'm really passionate about a particular song, I will just make a full cover of that from scratch. Similar to what I did from the songs of Baldur's Gate 3. I really dig that kind of medieval fantasy style. So even if I already made some short improvisations over some of the songs in my Baldur's Gate 3 reaction videos, which you can watch here, I still chose to do full covers of some of the songs from scratch. You used the wrong game footage! No one cares. This is a music channel. I only care about the music. If I use wrong footage for a 2-second segment, the world moves on. You've reacted to so many songs from the game, you might as well play the game at this point. Oh, right. Because listening to music and playing the video game is exactly the same activity, am I right? It's exactly the same experience, right? First off, how dare you tell me what to do? And secondly, I play the games that I like. Do you play games at all? Yes, in fact, I do play a lot of games, but I only have a very particular type of genre that I pour all my time with. I will pretty much devour any single-player, open-world RPG, JRPG with lots of stats, lots of grinding, lots of character progression. That is my default type of gaming. Games I've recently finished: Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty, Horizon Forbidden West, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3, among others. The only platformer that I really tolerate is mainline Mario games. Of course, there's always going to be exceptions to the rule. I also enjoy a bit of Mario Kart and Fortnite, and most recently Valheim. Oh my god, I spent so much time in Valheim. But in general, I go for AAA games. That is usually my thing. I just want the big cinematic productions, you know. I can no longer have this week-long binge of just gaming and doing nothing productive. As much as I want to, I cannot. I have responsibilities, and those of you who have responsibilities similar to mine, you'll get it. Are you really a music producer? Yes. Here are my credentials. Insert creator name here is better. Well, of course. There's always going to be someone better than you. When this kind of topic comes up, I always remember the quote by Qui-Gon Jinn to Obi-Wan Kenobi in Phantom Menace. There's always a bigger fish. There's always somebody bigger. There's always somebody more successful. There's always somebody who's going to be much, much better than you at what you do. And that's fine. That's how the world works. That's reality. So what are you going to do about that? Are you going to quit just because somebody is better than you? No, you go on. You improve yourself. You be better than yourself yesterday. Keep improving. Everyone has their own journey. Everyone has their own sets of skills. Thank you, Liam Neeson. Everyone has a different pace in how they go about in their journey as an artist, whatever it is your profession is. Just because somebody is better than you, do not let that discourage you from doing what you want. You just keep on going. It is a lifelong mastery. But again, if you find that there's somebody better than me in what I do here on YouTube, and there is a lot of people better than me, just go watch them or watch all of them. You're free to choose whoever you want to watch. Insert insult here. It was only a joke, bro. A likely story. This has become more and more common. Insulting a creator, thinking that they will not respond back to you. And if they do, you'll say it's a joke. We see you from a mile away. Why don't you do covers anymore? In fact, I do. I still do make a lot of covers. Just for 2023 alone, I made 15 music video covers. Not as much as I used to do, but still, that is a significant amount. And if you missed those 15 covers, that just means you just got the first-hand experience on why I included new video formats in my channel. It is simply because music covers are not pushed by the algorithm as much as they used to back in 2016, 2015, which I would say is the golden age of music covers, especially in the Undertale era. Oh my God. It is because of the Undertale covers that I reached 100,000 subscribers. Yeah, that was a great time. And of course, it's a case-to-case basis on every creator. There are still some music cover channels that do extremely well today, but they are mostly the exception. And just to give you kind of a bleak, realistic example, I follow at least 50 music cover channels. A lot of them have become my personal friends as well. And maybe only 10 are still doing well as a music cover only channel. And I have noticed, I may be wrong, but this is just a personal observation. Those channels who tend to focus on just one genre of music, like laser focus on just one genre, metal guitar, all out metal guitar, or just jazz, all out jazz, they still do well because I think there's a benefit to just sticking to one style of music, one genre. And if you know me, I'm someone who cannot just stick to one genre of music because I like to experiment. That's just who I am. And sadly, the YouTube algorithm does not agree with that anymore. Which is why, like I said, I have pivoted the content to include other formats such as reaction videos and video essays. And it worked well. It's revived the channel. Don't play violin. We are here to listen to the soundtrack, not you. Well, in that case, you shouldn't have clicked a video from a channel called String Player Gamer. That's on you. Why are there so many cuts in your dialogue? I believe you are referring to the multiple cuts in the edits of my dialogue when I'm talking. And there are two reasons for this. Number one, English is not my native language. I am a Filipino. My native language is Tagalog. And so, even though I've been speaking English fluently for almost the rest of my life, I still struggle to think in English. So there's always a lag in my thoughts. What I want to express in English, sometimes there's a lag in my brain. So what happens is I pause a lot. I say a lot of ums, ahs, and that's just a lot of dead air. I don't want you to be watching 5 seconds of dead air because I'm taking a while in forming my thoughts in English. And that's also the second reason. I just want to remove dead air. That's it. This is the last hot take. Why should I watch a music reaction video when I can just listen to the song myself? Yeah, why should you watch a reaction video? Well, I have my own answer to that, but don't take it from me. let's take it from you. Here are some of your best comments when I asked this exact question in my community tab. 4 common answers that I've been seeing around. Number 1, I want to hear another person's opinion on my favorite song, which you voted majority 66% with almost 8,000 votes. Not bad. The second reason is I want to hear a music professional's deep dive on the song. I'm flattered, thank you. 24% of you voted for that. 2% says I want to discover new songs, and 7% says I just want to vibe along. What else did you say in the comments? Here are some of my favorites. Sometimes I've heard a track a lot already, and experiencing others enjoy or even criticize those things feel fresh and fun. It just feels good when a song I enjoy is liked by someone else. And it feels great when a song hits or drops and surprises the one reacting to it. I like to see people's first reaction to things I enjoy since I can't experience that feeling again. That is a very common thing that I see around. And if you want to read the rest of the comments, lots of wonderful comments there, I will link you the polls link in the description. Changing the focus of my channel to include not just music covers, but video essays, reaction videos, and all kinds of formats focusing on video game music was not an easy decision for me to make when I was still deciding if I should even do it. But also looking at the declining statistics in my channel when I was still stubbornly, adamantly forcing myself to just focus on music covers because I was thinking, but what about the subscribers? And unfortunately, YouTube no longer even considers the subscribers or the subscriber count as a way to promote your videos. Nowadays, subscribers, it's just a vanity metric for creators to show off. Hey, I have 1 million subscribers. That's great. But what really pushes videos on the front page feed of YouTube is title, thumbnail, topic, and to some extent keywords and video description. It used to be the subscription feed, but that's now just relegated to 3rd tab when you log into YouTube. Long story short, my channel was dying. I knew it, and I knew what to do. I just refused to do it because change is hard to accept. Thankfully, backed by research, a little bit of determination, and great support from friends, and an amazing community right there, I just did it. And I'm happy to say that the change was good. In the bigger picture, it revived my channel. It's actually generating me ad revenue, and the channel has been growing faster than before compared to when I was just doing music covers. Now my channel is now a shrine for video game music. I'm pretty sure by now, if you've subscribed or if you've followed my channel for a while, you've already seen video essays, reaction videos, some shorts. Of course, the traditional music covers will still be around, and I will just be continuing to evolve the content in whatever direction I see fit. But it will still always be centered around video game music because that is what I'm passionate about. And as always, if you want to support the channel, subscribing or liking the videos is the most free and the easiest way to support the channel. But you can also go the extra mile by joining my YouTube memberships or pledging on my Patreon. Or you can also buy some of my merch, including this I Love VGM shirt. Because if you're watching my content, I'm pretty sure you love VGM or video game music. And of course, another way is by buying my albums in Bandcamp or streaming my music in Spotify and all the music platforms. As for the future plans, I will still keep doing what I already do best, produce entertaining videos for you. It will still be a mix of everything for the sake of the channel's survival and for my survival as a creator and a self-supporting family man. I will be focusing on whatever video format that is getting the clicks. If for some reason music covers are trending again, I will be doing more music covers. Because if you ask me, my real desire is to keep on producing music covers, arrangements, original compositions, and of course a big upcoming plan to produce my own video game inspired concept album for Violin. But more on that in a future video. I also have to compromise if I want to survive and keep doing YouTube videos. So the reaction videos mixed in with Violin improv with those short cover snippets in between are like the best compromise. But fortunately, I have found a really efficient process for making sure that I don't stop producing my own music. Whenever I film the reaction videos, I send the raw footages to an editor, a different editor. In fact, I have 2 to 3 editors on rotation, and they do the heavy lifting for the reaction videos. Well, I have some free time for myself to produce music. But yes, that's currently the status of the channel. I look forward to seeing you all in 2024. In the meantime, stay awesome.